Professor Brook Hailu, a renowned and leading expert in foreign policy, diplomacy and African security matters, reiterated Ethiopia has got historic, strategic and natural rights that pave its path of quest for sea access as righteous during his recent breakdown of Ethiopia's strategic options for securing sea access. In his exclusive interview he conducted with the Ethiopia'S, he analyzed the whole lot of rational background that serve as the impetus for Ethiopia by mentioning the current global situation that enabled the country's quest to be accepted by all the concerned bodies.
Ethiopia for thousands and thousands of years had full access to the Red Sea, even on the side of Yemen as well, all the way to the Gulf of Aden, Somalia coast and the like. But Ethiopia was condemned since 1991 to be landlocked, which was not the case for centuries and for decades before 1991. That was a no-go question, by the way. Even at the universities, people were not welcomed when they discussed about, especially disseminate in front of the public and the like, raising the question of why is Ethiopia landlocked. We have the United Nations conventions and all kinds of laws of landlocked countries. They have the right to have access to the sea. And that was not properly addressed. It seems they have just locked Ethiopia, locked the destiny of Ethiopia right there south of Assab, and then through the Kiawe. And it seems the Prime Minister of the period as well, the Prime Minister and his leadership accepting the fate of Ethiopia, folding their arms and just accepting our fate, which was really wrong for a sovereign country like Ethiopia, especially given the facts that this is a heavyweight, in terms of population, heavyweight country. At the time 65 million, now 127, 130 million. In 10-20 years time we're going to hit 140, 25, 150 million people. What are you going to do about it, really? It's a matter of life and death to have access to the sea.
Professor Brook highlighted Ethiopia's efforts that have been exerted through diplomatic negotiations with the key regional partnerships and other important bodies that are hoped to culminate the country's reasonable desire. Ethiopia's diplomatic efforts are always out there, he indicated. The sea access quest is obviously appropriate, yet challenging, and the one that conveys opportunities with itself to the nation, the professor elaborated. As to him, availing and realizing the unaltered full access to the sea carries an unprecedented meaning to the nation's economic future.
Literally, the plea of Ethiopia to have access to the sea based on what? A win-win situation, and not based on conquest or not based on military adventurism or military actions. That was not listened to. And 27 years, for the last 27 years under Meles and Prime Minister Haile Mariam, for them Ethiopia was minus the Red Sea coast. As to how to get access to the sea, 6 years was okay, 1991 to 1997. The relations between the Eritrean government and the Ethiopian government was okay, at least. But economic rivalries and political rivalries at the beginning of the 7th year led them to military skirmishes, and then the military maneuvering, and then the whole area blew apart when Eritrean troops moved into Bademe, claiming the Bademe area as theirs. So that was the situation. Even after the bloody 2 years war, even after militarily Ethiopia won the conflict, literally won the conflict, the issue of access to the sea was not raised by the government of Ethiopia of the period. They turned around, went back, rather than claim at least some kind of access to the sea.
Ethiopia has been landlocked since Eritrea gained independence in 1993 through a referendum. Djibouti has served as Ethiopia's main seaport, processing approximately 90% of its important export needs since the conflict between Ethiopia and Eritrea erupted in 1998. Ethiopia's Prime Minister Abiy Ahmed has expressed his aspiration to secure sea access for Ethiopia since coming to power in 2018.